It's 1 month.
teaching experience.
What do you think? About a month?
They have some issues back in the prairie. You should run that we should. Yeah, they green for that. That right there is really nice for his mayor. For some reason, he won that spell, kind of started flaking out. After that, it worked fine. everything over, but what, I forget what the deal was. You know, whenever come in, they finally told them it was like 3 months. And I said, well, cancel, we'll get something else. And then you know how that goes. And never had something since. But I'm almost all the time that a big TV.
Isn't that
Okay,
next
y'all
Thursday?
ready?
Y'all good? Everybody
6
ready?
o'clock at TCAT.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October Elizabethton City Schools Board of Education meeting. We have some guests with us this evening. We're happy to see you guys here. Welcome. Glad you're here. If everyone would, please stand. Dr. Gardner is going to lead us in the Pledge of the Flag and a moment of silence.
Let's have our moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time for citizens to speak in accordance with Board Policy 1.404. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come forward and state your name and your address. On the agenda, we have Thomas Davis from Edward Jones Investment.
Where's my name's on? Can I give you all something
Absolutely.
to kind of follow along quick?
Thank you.
And Dr. Gardner's here. Thank you.
This is really easy. There's no test at the end.
Thank
Is
goodness.
that just for you?
Thank you. Just for me.
Somebody missing?
I'll take that one.
Not now.
Not now, right on time. Thank you to the board for having me. My name is Thomas A. Davis. I'm with Edward Jones Investments. That's very strange. Y'all can all hear me, right? And I come to discuss a couple of things. The first is a slot as a retirement vendor with the city school system. And the second is how we're going to really add a lot of value to that. So first, I'd like to tell you a quick story, kind of where this idea came from. My mother was one of the first women given a master's degree from Mercer University in Georgia in the early 60s in education. She went on to a renowned career as an at-risk student teacher. Everything from bad homes to bad neighborhoods to just bad attitudes. And retired 32 years later with more awards than we still haven't found them all in the backs of drawers and under beds. But she retired on a teacher's pension and Social Security. And as I joined my firm many years ago and started telling her about things that I had come across, ideas that we put into place for other people, she asked me, why did no one ever teach me these things? Why didn't anyone ever tell me how to do that for myself? And so that's the first thing I'd like to help with, is to educate the educators. I think we can all agree that any great endeavor is improved by education. Kind of our goal here. And one of the benefits of using a local advisor is they're always on hand if you need them for education. That's good. If I had known that, I posed for you. And more importantly, to bring to the attention of the participants of your plan, my clients, any very important information that they would not already have and use to make decisions for their retirement, which is arguably one of the greater endeavors in life, is to have a comfortable retirement. So that's what I came to discuss. Do we have any questions so far? Come on. All right. So I partner with Aspire, which is one of the largest non-government 403B providers in the country. Over 8,000 school systems and 10,000 churches and other nonprofit organizations throughout the country. There's some information there for you to learn about them and what we do. On the logistical side, by partnering with Aspire, I can offer a number of things to your participants, your faculty, staff, that the state cannot. And one is open architecture. So, right now, according to 403B regulations and state regulations governing their own plan, you can only offer so many choices, and they have to meet certain criteria, which is admirable. But I can offer any choice, any option, through the same platform, 403B, with your third-party administrator overseeing those criteria. So, a lot more options. The second is personal planning. So one of the things that statistics have shown us helps us achieve success in retirement. Is anyone falling asleep yet? No. Good. Is actually having a plan. Unfortunately, with most state plans, there is no actual planner involved to help make decisions, such as how much do you need to retire? When are you going to retire? How are you going to have that much when you retire? That's high level, and then obviously the individual planning that's involved in executing that. So I can also offer that as well. I have a very, very good relationship with a lot of teachers here in town. In fact, this idea didn't come from me, it came from some of your teachers that are my clients and asked me to come and ask you for this. So there's some information in your packets there about Aspire. I'm not going to assail you with numbers, statistics, and a whole bunch of data that's right there in front of you. But they are very good at this. I'm very good at this. And I'd really, really love for your teachers to not be like my mother. Is there any questions that I can answer?
No, I would say that he does, Mr. Davis does meet the criteria at this point by our third-party administrator to offer that to our teachers. And he's gone through the process of that and meets the criteria that we would have for other people. We do want to say it's open to anyone who wants to apply for the amount of slots that we have to offer that. So, but he has approached us to do that. And most recently, he's also got the philanthropy bug and has started to work on our sensory rooms for our special needs students. So he came through with a large match to work on that for our students. So we greatly appreciate your willingness to do that.
Partners for you on the garden.
And our sensory garden that's coming. So he's working
So
on that.
one of the things that I want to add, and thank you, Dr. Gardenhauer, is kind of how we do that. So on the agenda, I was supposed to ask you about seminars. That's one way that we educate people. Get a group together, teachers, whatever the case that you decide is appropriate, and have high-level conversations about what's going on in the world, how it impacts them, or any specific questions they'd like answered. An example of that is tomorrow morning I will be teaching a class of seniors at Elizabethton High School about personal finance. So when they go to college, they hopefully do a little better job of managing their debt and not coming out with what we now know is quite a bit. I have a column in the Star, Curtis, every Sunday that has some of those high-level ideas in them to give you some examples. But typically in situations like this, we offer a quarterly sit-down conversation similar to this, after which we take questions and answers. Under no circumstances in a group setting would we ever make a recommendation. But I found that when people have an opportunity to ask questions, they do. And those answers change the outcome in their lives. So the fundamental difference, the fundamental thing that I'd like for you to approve me to do is be able to answer those questions and speak directly to your participants instead of a 1-800 number and so on. So, is there anything I can answer for you?
Well, you just answered the question that I was going to ask, was about the seminar, so you went ahead and answered that.
You can pre-approve those if you'd like. I can send you the text. I can really customize my approach to this. There's really no way to explain how many different ways. So really whatever you need from me or whatever approach you want to take, I absolutely can. Confident. Any other questions? Come on, make it fun for me. You got my themes on ready? All right. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. And we appreciate your time and willingness to take care of another way that our teachers can take care of themselves down the road, because our teachers are very important to us, and so appreciate you being here very much.
What is our pursuit? What do we?
They pretty much need to have a certain number of spots where they have people in the school system. It's 20. And then they have to go through a third-party administrator and be approved. And our third-party administrator governs all of what we would do with our 403B thing. So once they apply, there's open slots that we have up to 20 total open slots. And it's pretty much open to anybody that would like to do that. For instance, I know a competitor of his is Rick Walters, who we have with Horace Mann, is someone that approached the board years ago. He was able to come on as a administrator, and he can offer investments as long as they're approved by our third-party administrator that works with our plan. So and Mr. Walters does a lot for the school system too.
Anything else? Is there anybody else that want to approach the boards this evening? All right, then it's time to move on to the consent and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments on the agenda? Ms. Perkins did send some changes, so if you need a copy, we have those. All right. Item on the floor is to approve consent and regular agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Dr. Gardner?
I want to say a special welcome to our Troop 516 who's come out this evening. They're observing a school board meeting, and if afterwards they would like to maybe ask a few questions. So they're working on a merit badge, so we're really glad that they're here working with us and chose us to be their place to come. Also, this month we've worked on a leadership committee made of our teachers and a couple administrators, and we're working together on just common issues within the system, but we felt that was a way to reach out and connect with our teachers. So we've been enjoyed that and had our first meeting about a week or so ago. Ms. Peters brought something to my attention that I think was pretty good, and that's probably a little nudge in the right direction, is that at one time we had a pretty successful recycling program in the school system. And you know, that's probably something that we've not done in several years. So we're going to gauge the interest and try to work on that. I thought that was a good thing and one way for us to be a more green community. I received a call and talked today in our principals meeting about the seniors program that we announced that we were going to be doing with the Elizabethton Senior Center. And they contacted me and said they have people ready to come out and help our children. And so we'll be putting that in our elementary schools very soon. Dr. Newman has worked on training our staff for our Teacher Leader Network. That's a state initiative that was new, and they're working on that. And they've gone for some training, but she was able to convince Commissioner or Assistant Commissioner Fleming to move that closer to home, so we're not having to travel to Nashville 7 times. They're going to come to Bluntful, and so did a good job on that, and that'll be a way for us to empower our teachers to be leaders within their schools. We formed an enrollment enhancement committee, and we would love for the board to serve on that with us. We're going to look at our junior high and high school where we have room to bring students in, and we're really going to make a concerted effort to bring more students into the school system in those areas. Of course, at the City Council meeting, you probably were able to read that we have approached City Council about the opportunity to improve TA Duggar, and we feel that we have a lot of momentum in the community to move forward with that, and they were very gracious and listening, and also very complimentary of the school system and what's been done, so I appreciate the board for supporting all that we have done. You probably saw in the paper also that the Work Ready Community, Carter County, we received that grant, and we're just starting on that, and we'll be working in concert with the County Commission and the county schools to work on that to try to help all of our workforce development to produce students that can go directly to work. Also, we have students that are going to go on to college and trade schools, technical schools, those types of things. But we need to be really focusing on what are they doing just in the world of work. If they graduate high school, where are they going? What are they doing? And so the grant's there to help us make connections with local businesses to try to make sure that we're doing everything that we can for our kids and making sure they're trained with skills that they need to be able to achieve that jobs in those areas. I do want to say something about, I don't know if, or you talk about the banquet, or you
You go ahead.
Okay. Our banquet for our kids who have won the $200,000 grant, the Bartleby School Project. They are going to speak tonight and give us an update in just a second, but I want to say October 27th at 6:30 at TCAT. And if you want to carpool or whatever, we can make sure that you get there if you don't know where that is. The last thing before they come up is the fact that one of the things they asked us during the Bartleby School Project was for us to possibly put a student liaison on the Board of Education. And we have worked really hard. Mr. Boatman has been working on that, and our hope is if we can do it quick enough, it will be next month that we may have the student in place. It may take us a little longer. If not, it will be December. So they're working on the criteria and working that out. So, gentlemen, if you go ahead, come on up and give us an update.
Good evening, Dr. Gardner, board. Thank you all for letting us come back again this month. It's been a lot of time together recently.
Yeah, we
Makes me
have.
very happy. Just want to give a quick update for you all. We actually spoke with our student group this morning and showed them this presentation to see if our thoughts were aligning with what their initial thoughts were, just to make sure that this is their vision that we're putting forward. I've got on there, I mentioned about the banquet. I hope all of you are able to attend. I saw the updated list from Becca a little bit earlier that I think all but two have RSVP'd to be there next Thursday. So hope everybody's there to make it. It's kind of a rundown of the agenda for that night. Sebastian Turner, who is the XQ Director for Special Projects, will be with us. He's flying in from California. He'll be giving a short presentation about what XQ is, what they were looking for, and why they loved our application so much. Along with him is coming Lee Hirsch, who's a documentary filmmaker. If you've ever seen the documentary Bully before, about school bullying, he's coming to do a documentary about all of XQs that are coming to do our banquet as part of the documentary. So if you were going to attend, I think I forwarded it to Becca. There's a release you have to sign to be able to be in the documentary, to be shown in the film. So there's a release for every attending member if you're able to get that to us whenever you're able. So that's one thing we're really excited about. I hopefully am going to have a video from Herman Melville's great-great-grandson. Because our grant was inspired by Herman Melville's story, Bartleby the Scrivener. So I contacted them and let them know this happened, and they're really excited about it. He's coming to visit in the spring, but he couldn't make it for Thursday, so he's going to film a short thing for us, just talking about how excited the family is for what we were able to accomplish with that name. But Sebastian Turner will be speaking. Then we'll have our students kind of give what their thoughts were about this program, what they were looking for, and then we'll get up and we'll speak about this is what we're doing going forward with these thoughts these students created. And what we're really wanting to happen is us to be able to go into the audience, all the community members that are there, and talk to them and say, what can we do to partner with you all? What ideas do you all have that we want to know what they think? We love outside ideas and suggestions, so we want to get with them, let them see the students, let the students communicate with them, just so we can all partner together. So our initial thought was starting next school year we'll have 2 classes, and I give you the application process for both of those classes. That would be the Bartleby Community Improvement class and the Bartleby Entrepreneurship class. And ideally, these would have 15 students in each class. And to get into the class, there'd be a vetting process. So they'd have to go through this application process and then go before a board to be able to get entrance into this class. So the board would be made up of teachers, administrators, community members. If it's for the community improvement class, it'd be nonprofits, professionals from the community. If it's entrepreneurial, have business owners from the community on those boards. Just so that way students can't say, the school doesn't want me in this class. We can say the board's made up of a litany of different people that made these decisions. So I gave you the sample applications. And one of the first things we need to do is see who is wanting to be involved, how can we create these boards. And then the evaluation and grades for the courses will be given by the students as they go before the board that they initially look for. Will give them the grade and evaluation for the job they did. So the community project class, what we want for the students to do is find a problem in the community that they're passionate about and find a way to fix it or improve it. So whatever that issue might be, it might be something with a nonprofit, or they see something, just wherever community, we want them to say, I care about this, I want to fix this. And we'll assign them a mentor from the community to work with them, that if there's ever an issue, they can call them and say, what do I do next? What suggestions do you have for this? As I said before, they have to go before the community project board to tell them what their ideas were to get into the class, and then to get their project approved, they'd have to go before the same board before they could start working on that idea. And at the end of the class, they go before that same board, present results, and be evaluated for the job that they did. Any questions about that class? Okay. And the second is the entrepreneurial class. So this one would have a much more stringent vetting process than the community project class. Because with this class, we want to be able to use the money that we awarded to loan money to the students to create their own business. So they would go before this business board with a business model that they created and say, this is what I want to do with the money you would loan me. And they'd have to show us what they envision for the market, who's going to be purchasing what they're selling. So they'd have to have their whole business model laid out before this board to show them, have it approved. Then we would loan them the money. What we're hoping is that we would have community partners that would partner with us and help match some of the funds. That if we're loaning $500 max to each student, that a business might say, we'll cover $250 of this. And whatever money the students make, we'd like for them to repay it back into the program so that we could sustain the program continuously. If we only give money to this class for 15 students perpetually, it would last for 53 years by itself, and we'd never have to touch it. We'd like to grow further than just these two classes, but if that's the way we did this is all we ever did with this $200,000, it would sustain itself for 53 years. And we'd all still be here, I'm sure. I would be 79 years old, still enjoying it, being happy to see it.
The rest of us are not going to do the math, so not going to happen.
I was doing that in my head, yes.
I'm sure it's around the same age group.
Sure, let's go with that.
So, and after they repay back the initial investment that we made to them, if they have even more money profit off of that, we'd like for them to take that money. We would pay it forward to a capstone project that we travel to some place and do some type of activity, not just like a fun trip, but a learning trip. I don't know where we would go. We'd have to figure that one out. But we'd go somewhere and do something that they could learn on that trip. Any questions about the entrepreneurial class? Okay, so our implementation timeline is we want this done by the next school year, so 2017, 2018. We want this class to be happening, both classes. So we need to create our community partnerships, create our boards. We're hoping to start those partnerships next Thursday at the banquet. We need to find teachers to teach these classes, so I talked today with the counseling department saying we need to have a meeting with you all regarding the master schedule and with Mr. Boatman as well, seeing how do these pieces all move together, try to make this puzzle fit the best way possible. So that would be the scheduling conflicts as well. Need to figure those out and create a sustainability model that if we do have these community members that will match every $250 to a student, and how long can this go with the funding that we have? So that's kind of where we're at. We kind of laid out a timeline that the three of us, like these are all the meetings we need to be making with CTE, with banks, with all these different community organizations. So we can send you that if you'd like that as well, just to give an idea. This is where we're trying to go with this. We're really excited about this, the student school board member. We told that to the XQ representative, and he said that their president said that's the coolest story they've heard from this whole thing is the student school board member. That's the biggest thing they've seen out of all of this, even bigger than the $10 million projects, because this is the coolest thing they've seen so far. So they were really, really excited about that one. And they were talking about how much they loved our application because anyone could do this model, that they want us to be a model that any school could come to and look at Elizabethton High School and take our results and take it back to their school, that they don't need $10 million dropped in their lap to go and buy a barge to put a school on. that anyone can come and create these kind of classes if they just get in the community and work with community members. So they were really excited about ours, and we kind of felt like we're their pet project,
Well, that's cool.
and we really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions at all about everything that's going on right now?
Well, I know that when we were in Mountain City a few weeks ago, we were kind of talking about having a student, serve on the board with us. We love the idea that we would hope that it would make the board seem more approachable to our students, and that we care very much what they have to say. We also think it would be really nice for them to understand, we can't just decide everything that we do. We have to work within limitations, and it will help them to understand how we operate. And also, I think that we would have more students come and visit, and I think that's going to be a really interesting addition. So I'm looking forward to that.
Does XQ give you any parameters as far as how you can use the funds? I mean, can you create an endowment, or did they tell you what you need to do?
They had told us initially that they wanted us to run through a different nonprofit, so we could say that only the initial ideas that the students that they wanted money could be paid for. We give them Niswonger as the representative we'd like to work through. So their CFO has been working with the Niswonger organization about them being the people that our money runs through. So that's kind of where we are right now with that.
Is there any data collection ongoing about how this project's doing that we're doing?
Whenever we talked with the president a couple weeks ago of XQ, and he said that he'd like for us to work with Stanford University. He's going to connect us with their data collection team. It has a fancy name for it. Do you remember who Stanford's?
I don't remember, but I think it has 3 times more data than the federal government does in
Yeah.
education.
It's the largest education repository of data in the country.
Wow.
And they're wanting to hook us up with them to do our data collecting for us.
Good.
And they wanted to hook us up with
So-
Vanderbilt as well with their education department's data.
Is there any way to make that a two-way street they can share with us?
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I think that was the idea. That they had told us that they didn't want to just drop money in our lap and leave. They wanted this to be a continual partnership, ongoing, for years.
Well, I just, again, we're just so proud that this was the students' ideas, and we thank you guys so much for working with them and helping them articulate it and put it all together. But, we know a lot of systems paid people to do this, and it's just so impressive that it came from our students, and I think so often they're underestimated because they're so smart and they have such good ideas, and it's great that they had a platform to share those ideas. So it's so exciting. We need to have a seminar on
Sorry.
turn our phone off.
I always do.
Oh, that just makes me happy, Tyler.
If there's nothing else, I thank you all for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all next Thursday.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
I'd like to thank the board for your condolences and for your time. Each of you has personally been there for me with my father and his passing recently, and the understanding that you each did come in was, many of you came and many of you called or sent cards and wreaths and things like that, and it was extremely touching to know that I had a family here as well. So thank you so much for the school system and all those employees and people that have become my friends, and you've been a great support through this, so thank you so much.
All right, let's move on to the regular agenda. The first item is approved contract between Blackburn Childress and Stegall PLC and Elizabethton City School Board of Education for audit services for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $13,800 for the activity funds and $19,000 for general purpose federal programs and school nutrition program funds. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Been doing this for years.
Many years are fantastic.
Anything? All right. Item on the, oh, I'm sorry.
This is required.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So just make that point for the public. That I know the services are expensive, but they are required and they do a wonderful job. So that's why there's no comment. So that's what it is. Otherwise, we'd be questioning, why are we spending so much money on an audit? But it is a state requirement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks you for pointing that out. Sometimes we forget things like that. Item on the floor is approved contract between Blackburn Children's and Stegall PLC and Elizabethton City Schools Board of Education for audit services for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $13,800 for activity funds and not for general purpose federal programs, school nutrition program funds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is approved 2016 LEA compliance report. Can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
This is an annual housekeeping item that we have. Compliance report goes through basically general compliance with what we're supposed to be doing with the state. We had no areas of non-compliance, and so we just looking to sign that and send that in. That's to be approved by the board.
Fantastic. Anybody have any questions? All right. Item on the floor, approved 2016 LEA compliance report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, ratify approval of creation of 2 assistant to the teacher positions to effectively meet the needs of 2 special education students' IEP requirements. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank the board for considering that to help us meet our needs for our students.
May I have any questions? Item on the floor is ratify approval of creation of 2 assistant to the teacher positions to effectively meet the needs of 2 special education students' IEP requirements. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And we had a couple of extras. 2 things. Next is approved contract renewal with Rebecca Price for public relations services beginning 10/1/16 and ending 9/30/17. Year 2 of possible 5. This contract will follow the specifications and contracted rate as set forth in RFP 2015-2016-01. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have any questions? Just want to say, Becca, you're doing a great job.
Fantastic job.
It was a good move on our part.
Absolutely. We're lucky we found her.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Item on the floor, approved contract renewal with Rebecca Price for public relations services beginning 10/1/16, ending 9/30/17. Year 2 of possible 5. This contract will follow the specifications and contracted rate as set forth in RFP 2015-2016-01. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Last item, approve equipment disposal request of one 1997 Chevrolet Lumina car previously used in the driver's education program at EHS per request of John Hutchins, transportation supervisor. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Third.
That car's been around a while.
Where are
It
we-
has,
what's
and
going
it
on?
shows.
Recycle.
What will you do with it, John? Do you sell it, crush it, or what do you do with it?
Push it.
We're going to hope to auction it.
Auction.
I've looked at the value, and I believe it's got a little over 95,000 miles on it. We don't use it any longer. The air conditioning doesn't work. It's a 2-tone blue car, only because part of the blue paint has been ripped off, stripped off, whatever, in several places. So
Has a few electrical problems.
I think the best we could hope for before all of the damage and the air conditioning might have been $600 or $700, but since it has all the other damage, I don't think there's much we can hope for, but we'll certainly do our best.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Like a nice car for $100.
Chelsea. Buy that for Chelsea.
Well, if anybody's got any new drivers or bad drivers, come see us. We'll set you up. All right. Item on the floor, approve equipment disposal request of one 1997 Chevrolet Lumina car previously used in the driver's ed program at EHS per request of John Hutchins, transportation supervisor. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Next regularly scheduled board meeting will be Tuesday, November 15th, 2016, here at 6:30 in the Mac Pierce Boardroom. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you, and a second. We'll take that as a second. Y'all have a nice evening.